guys, Jenny with On Fire Fit, and today I am taking you through a little overview of a typical day of what I do. And it may just interest you only because it's my sort of thing. I literally was just working on cleaning my kitchen sink, and at the same time I was watching a YouTube video of one of my favorite people, how Jen does it. And she and her husband were cleaning their kitchen and showing their nighttime routine. And I get so fascinated by just stepping into somebody else's life and seeing what they do. And I don't know if that interests you at all, but that's kind of what we're gonna do today. So I am right now in the middle of the day, but I will back you up and show you what I do from beginning to end. But it's not necessarily a quote unquote typical day. Some of the things are typical, but the exact times of things are not always the same, because some days I go to one job, some days I go to another job, some days I go to another job. So it kind of depends. But today was my military-based job day, and so that has a little different pattern. But I always start my day the same way. I start it with the Lord. And so I'm going to take you there first, and then we're going to look at the food that I just bought.
I always start with my diffuser and my essential oils in there. And I usually use something that will start to perk me up, like orange and eucalyptus and peppermint and things like that. And then I get started with my Bible reading, and I sit by a red light, which is very healing. I will link a book below that you can get on Kindle or whatever electronic device from my friend Ari, who talks about the benefits of a red light. And I like to sit in front of that in the morning, and I do my Bible reading. Today, I believe I was in Jeremiah. I do read from different books of the Bible from different times, depending on how the Spirit moves. And then I do some journaling. So I just journal about things that strike me when I'm doing my reading. Things like who God is, what He's asking me to do, who He's saying that I am. And I believe that the Bible is living and active, and it is something that is meant for us to use and apply to our lives today, which is why it is such an awesome book. And it is not something for a time period. It is meant for every time period, every day of every year. I just keep little Post-it note tabs in the various books of the Bible that I'm in the middle of. I'm in Jeremiah. I'm also in the New Testament in Matthew, and then also in the book of Acts. And some days I don't even read from those, and some days I read a chapter, some days I read a verse. It really just depends on what's going on in that verse or that chapter or my life. And I try not to get overly concerned with the quantity, but always stay very in tune with the quality of what I am learning and what I feel like God is speaking to me. Just cleaning up, put away the red light, and I'm going to gather up my things that I brought and fluff the cushions, straighten up the couch. Usually when I come out in the morning, things are askew because my husband always stays up later than me watching TV. I usually go to bed earlier, but here I am gathering up my coffee and water and putting away my goodies. Then I either go for a walk or I come and wash my face and put in my contacts and get my makeup going. I got this vanity from my husband a couple years ago, and I just love it because it gives me natural light, and it's just a great place to get started in the morning. Then it's time to either curl or flat iron my hair so that I can get on to the next thing. Oh, and then of course get dressed. So I had this weird thing about liking to watch videos where people are cleaning up and organizing. Maybe it's because while I'm cleaning and organizing, it keeps me motivated. But they're always doing their videos on twice the speed, which makes me feel so excited to get things done because it just doesn't look like it takes that long. So here you see me at a faster speed emptying my dishwasher, but I have a question for you. Do you take things out and put them away right away, or do you pile them up like I do and then put them away in groups? I'm always debating about what's more efficient and how much I can save time on doing this silly task that really doesn't even take that long no matter which way you do it. Washing up some of the dishes, I usually hand wash my coffee pot and the parts for that, and I reset it for the day immediately. Here I am cleaning my sink and putting away all the goodies in the drainer. I don't know if you're one of those people that likes to let things naturally dry or you try to dry them immediately. I kind of go back and forth on that one, but sometimes I think one of the few things that I can let nature do is dry my dishes for me, but then I actually prefer not to see them sitting in the sink. So I guess it just depends what floats my boat that day. I don't know if you all are coffee drinkers, but I went to a medical conference and a liver specialist was talking about how people that drink coffee, not decaf, but regular coffee and not soda, so it's not caffeine, it's actually coffee, never get liver cancer. And so this is one of my little back of my mind things that encourages me to continue in this habit. I do try to limit it to a cup a day, and sometimes I'm a little over that, but I have to say my daughter has begun to love it. And then my son every now and then has a little mocha, which has very little coffee, but just a little. And I don't know what you think about coffee, but it is one of the best parts of the day. That is a reverse osmosis water filtration system that I'm using and refilling. And so I usually keep a pitcher of this cold water in the fridge. And then that reverse osmosis system, you have to empty out the tank of water that is no longer good. So I do that many, many times a day.
Okay, so like I said, I went to the store and I just got a few things. I have been doing this fun little thing that
I don't really have to do it, but I love challenges. And last week, the challenge was to only eat the food that you already have in your house, in your kitchen, and find creative ways to use it up. And then this week, it is to keep your food budget. It's an actual program that I have watched quite a bit, and you basically determine your total food budget for the month based on how many people you have in your family, and it's $100 per person per month, starting at $200, I think, 300. Anyway, we have 4 people, so I just know it's $400. So that is supposed to be all of your consumables, which I've never tried to keep it to that amount before. And I think it's going to be challenging because I'm used to buying mostly organic stuff. And really, I'm going to get into a whole nother video on this, but I definitely think organic is always going to be better for you. However, I do think that sometimes people have to do what they have to do. And I am not going to condemn anybody who buys regular groceries and does the best that they can. And I will get into another video if you're interested on my whole theory and thought process on that. Probably I will make the video, whether or not you ask for it. Anyway, so this is not going to be an organic haul, but it is keeping my food at $23.96 for all of this right now. And yes, I understand that organic, I know all the benefits. I'm in the medical field and I know that it's much more expensive, but we're going to talk about that on another day. So here I got a bag of lemons and a bag of limes. I got 2 things of tomatoes. The ones that they had today were the orange ones. I got potatoes, I got carrots, I got celery, I got ginger. This is the most atypical thing probably in this entire haul. I never buy this kind of lettuce, but let's say once a year, maybe I buy this and my son goes bonkers because, I mean, this is the kind of lettuce that I grew up on, but it's just not very nutritious, but he just goes bonkers because I think it's that crispy, crunchy thing. So I thought, okay, he eats a lot of healthy stuff as it is. I'm gonna let him go bonkers today. I got mint because not only do I use it in a lot of recipes, but I like to make virgin mojitos with it. I got zucchini. So I may make zoodles, or my daughter just really loves it when I just steam it. I got bananas. We were out and I purposely bought some that were more brown so that I can freeze them for my smoothies. I got more sponges for cleaning and cotton balls. And then we got some onion salt, some canned tomatoes, some enchilada sauce, which usually I make my own, but I think I'm going to use this as a thickener for a soup that I had a recipe for. And then I got some spinach. So this was a very inexpensive food haul for this week, and coupled with the things that I have from last week, we should be able to get through just fine. I'm doing some food prep with all the groceries that I have, and really depending on the day, I will do a whole bunch at once, and then some days I'll just do whatever I need for that very day. And if I can set aside some time, I really like to try to do things in bulk if possible, because I think that it just saves so much time. For instance, I will make probably 5 or 6 of my son's sandwiches and freeze them in individual bags all at once. And I'll do a bunch of vegetable chopping all at once. And I'll try to make double batches of things, like I made chili and then freeze half of that. It's just easier because this way you start to get a stockpile of things, and rather than pulling it out every single day to try to do a lot of cooking, it just saves quite a bit of time. So Today, I ended up doing quite a bit of food prep, and one of my guilty pleasures is I allow myself to watch my favorite YouTube people while I'm doing all of that. So it's actually not a chore because it gives me my kind of little opportunity to catch up on stuff that I wouldn't normally take time to watch. So How Jen Does It is one of my favorites. Jordan Page, Fun, Cheap, or Free is her little website. And there's a few others, but I just love to follow along with what they're doing and get some ideas. Oh, Small Changes too. I love her. She's got a beautiful accent. So yeah, I think that if you use your opportunities to do things that you really love to do along with a chore, sometimes it just makes it a whole lot easier. Today, I am going to take some of that basil plant and I am going to do something with it. It is out of control. I am making a nut-free pesto because my daughter is allergic to nuts. So that was really easy. I can link a recipe if you're interested. So I just made some basil pesto pasta. Now here I am going to juice and zest a bunch of limes and lemons, and I will freeze all of that so that they are ready for later. And here is some mint that I'm chopping up for water, as well as a mojito, a virgin mojito. And here is my ginger root where I will be peeling it. And I peel it all in one big thing, and then I chop them into little pieces so that they are easy to use. And then I freeze them, and I'm going to save that one little piece to throw into my turmeric tea. And that ginger is great for anti-inflammatory. On to the next thing. And this week I have a little bit more flexibility in my schedule. So I'm following a cleaning plan that How Jen Does It recommends. And I like this way because it just cuts down on the amount of time that you're cleaning. So you just do one task a day. And today is dusting. And then tomorrow it would be glass. And on Wednesdays it would be floors and so on. This works really well on weeks that I have a little more flexibility. When I have really full days, I just try to double up on a task. So sometimes I'll do both the dust and the glass on one day, or I'll do the bathrooms and the floor on another day, that type of thing. So the rest of the day pretty much ends up picking up the kids from school, helping them if they need anything, prepping for the next day with lunches. They usually do all the dishes at night and put those things away. And then I spend my evening before I go to bed reading, and a lot of times I do a little bit of journaling. Sometimes I will watch some kind of motivational YouTube video or something, but I try really hard to get off of all devices before I go to sleep. I find that I sleep better, I dream better, and especially if I even end my day with reading something in the Bible, I just feel more peace during the night. And I think that we have gotten kind of far away from that and how much peace we can get from the Word of God. So that's a little snippet of my life and what my day looks like from time to time. And I would love to hear from you. What kind of things do you do that I'm doing that we can relate to? I hope that you are just living an on fire life, and I can't wait to see you next time. Take care.